the more you reveal your pain. The more you reveal your pain, the more people may want to hurt you. Although this does not always happen, it is common for some people to take pleasure in seeing you suffer, or even contribute to worsening your situation. This behavior of sadism and envy, unfortunately, is present in many and can indeed hinder your personal growth in various fields of life, be it at work, within a circle of friends, or even in the family. Silent resilience. Therefore, learning not to show your weak points can become your strong point. Imagine yourself as a tree in the midst of a storm. The leaves may flutter and the branches may sway, but the trunk remains solid, deeply rooted in the earth. This is the portrait of silent resilience that we are going to teach here. We will discuss how you can become even stronger if you show that you are not easily affected by external or internal issues. Each challenge teaches you to be like the tree. By acting as if nothing bothers you, you are not denying the storm but choosing not to let the rain soak you and the wind knock you down. You will learn to be the master of your own fate, firm, strong, and serene in a sea of chaos. In this video, we will talk about 18 Stoic principles of Epictetus, a great and renowned philosopher you have probably already heard of. Additionally, I invite you to embrace self-knowledge, where strength does not come from the noise of thunder, but from the silence of the light that illuminates the path. Therefore, in the next few minutes, focus on the content and not on daily distractions. Let's go. Principle number 1. Listen twice as much as you speak. Have you ever thought about why nature gave us 2 ears, but only 1 mouth? According to Epictetus, there is no error or coincidence in this, but rather a clear purpose behind this reality, not to fall in love with our own voice as much as we are called to fall in love with the voice of others. It is by learning from others that we advance in life, not by repeating our own speech over and over again. So from today, start paying more attention to what people around you say and less to what you have been upholding until now. Principle number 2. Always expect the worst. One of the biggest causes of anxiety and its devastating consequences is believing that unfavorable circumstances are waiting for us in the future. We fear that our children will abandon their studies, that we will be fired from work, that our spouse will confess to having an affair and ask for a divorce, or that something else bad will happen, such as going bankrupt. The problem is that one day we fear one of these problems, and the next day another, and another. The path of life, in addition to reserving good and happy moments for us, also reserves a handful of problems that are inevitable. Therefore, we live in permanent stress caused by different stimuli each day. This is where Epictetus comes into the picture. His proposal is as drastic as it is effective. He says, think that all these things you fear so much have already happened. So, what could be worse? In this way, your spirit will develop coping strategies to move forward with your head held high. Principle number 3. Prepare to fail. Prepare to fail because it is the only way to progress. We often do the impossible to avoid being considered fools, but Epictetus has another view on this. According to his philosophy, one of the best things that can happen to you is to be considered such. This is the way for you to really improve both professionally and personally. The Stoic philosopher reminds us that overcoming is not the product of a spontaneous reaction, but rather the result of a long path of trial and error. It is through error that we can polish what distances us from excellence. Principle number 4. Be aware of the dangers of fortune. This wealth that we desire brings with it a stigma from which few people can free themselves. It's not just about the people who will emerge from nowhere to benefit from our fortune by pretending a friendship they don't feel for us. Money has the ability to transform people, and not necessarily for the better. Once we possess this highly coveted resource, we come to have something that until then we did not know we had. From that moment, our spirit may begin to poison itself in the face of the loss of moral values. Principle number 5. Do not cling to a single hope. Fortunately, we are beings inclined to practice diversity. There is no reason to put all our hopes in a single dream, as this could be devastating if we fail. Therefore, Epictetus encourages us to pursue many dreams, which will exponentially increase our chances of success. Principle number 6. Always remember that death is waiting at the end of the road. This is not advice to promote pessimism, but to cultivate awareness. Death is the final destination of all our actions and efforts. Once we have this in mind, we might start to evaluate to what extent it is worth spending 20 years of our limited life saving to pay for a house that we will not be able to take with us once death visits. just as we carry indispensable objects like our phone, credit cards, and toothbrush. It would benefit us greatly to carry a small notebook with these Stoic principles. By doing so, we will no longer see setbacks as misfortunes, nor life as the infinite time we think we have. Instead, we will gain a more realistic view of our existence and make better use of our time. Principle number 7. True wealth lies in a contented spirit. Due to his Stoic beliefs, Epictetus had a particular conception of happiness. One of his famous phrases states, "A wise man is one who does not fret over the things he does not have, but rejoices in those he does have." This reflection is more than a thought. It is advice to stop feeling afflicted by the riches that are not yet part of our life. While we complain and mourn for what we lack, we lose valuable minutes of happiness in which we could be grateful for everything we have achieved. A rich person is, above all, a happy person. Principle number 8. Incorporate humility into your life. If you truly want to learn something, it is essential to understand that you may not know everything. Through this phrase, Epictetus calls us to use humility, especially in the realm of learning. Boasting of our knowledge distances us from authentic learning. By recognizing our ignorance, we open ourselves to new knowledge and look at everything through the eyes of a child, full of wonder and desire to learn. Principle number 9. Guilt is synonymous with plague. Narrow-minded people blame others, ordinary people blame themselves, but the wise see all guilt as foolishness. This phrase from Epictetus has led therapists to approach guilt as a feeling to be eradicated from our lives. The only way to win against guilt is to refuse to play its game. Blaming others or ourselves absolves us of the responsibility to correct mistakes. Avoiding guilt requires a firm determination to overcome and a willingness to take responsibility for our actions. Principle number 10. Make alliances with winning people. It's curious how we instinctively avoid someone who sneezes nearby, fearing infection. Yet we aren't as cautious to avoid the most lethal contagion we face daily. Epictetus left us a wise piece of advice. Surround ourselves with people who inspire us to be our best. People's behavior greatly influences our state of mind. Some people drain our energy and ruin our day, while others leave us full of joy and vigor. One of the smartest decisions we can make is to ally ourselves with those who bring good vibes into our lives and distance ourselves from those who make us regret being born. Principle number 11. Never forget that your reactions forge your destiny. We should not take our reactions lightly, as they determine our success or failure. Epictetus was very clear about this. He taught us that while we cannot choose what happens to us, we can choose how to manage it. Misfortune can befall any of us, but it is our response that makes the difference. For some, a divorce might mean entering a world of depression and victimization. In contrast, Epictetus sees it as a golden opportunity to start on the path of self-knowledge. Remember, your life is not defined by what happens to you, but by what you do with it. Principle number 12. Always fulfill your duty. Each of us has a role in society and the world. The sun does not need praise or enchantments to rise each morning, yet it does so unfailingly. Just as every part of nature does its job, we must fulfill our obligations. If we wait for praise or recognition to do our work, we fail both the environment to which we belong and ourselves. Knowing our task and being aware that others depend on it means it is our moral duty to carry it out without waiting for anyone to remind us. Principle number 13. Do not hate those who hate you, simply ignore them. You are much bigger and completely superior to those who criticize, despise, or discriminate against you. Do not waste your precious time hating such people, as they do not even deserve to be present in your thoughts. We are encouraged not to fear those who harm us because their noise represents a regrettable attempt to damage us. Ignore it and become immune to it. Principle number 14. Bet on simplicity. Why live in frugality when we have the possibility to surround ourselves with luxuries? The answer is simpler and more logical than you think. Wealth does not maintain itself. It requires commitment and a lot of daily energy to preserve. In contrast, opting for a simple lifestyle frees us from the pressure of meeting due dates for bills, loans, and credit cards. Principle number 15. Do not let others control your emotions. When you allow the comments and attitudes of others to bother you, you hand over control of your life. Anyone capable of making you angry becomes your master, but they can only do so if you allow yourself to be disturbed by them. Epictetus helps us understand that many keys within us lead to happiness, while others lead to emotional ruin. By reacting to those who make us angry, we give them the key to our emotional state. The solution is to build a barrier that prevents us from being affected by others' attitudes. Remember, everyone is responsible for what they say and what they choose to listen to. Principle number 16. Friendship is above wealth. True wealth lies in genuine friendships, as friends will support us if our material fortune dissipates. Cultivating true friendships is a very profitable long-term investment. Principle number 17. Always extract the benefit from things. Whatever happens, it is up to you to take advantage of it or not. Epictetus emphasized that it is our duty to find the good in adversity. As long as there is intelligence in you, there will be the ability to realize the advantages you can take from any situation. If you arrive at work to find out you are being fired, instead of despairing, you have the option to pursue that enterprise you dreamed of while working with people you disliked. Always look for the positive in a situation, as this mindset will take you further than lamenting. Principle number 18. Stop worrying about what is out of your control. You are the owner of your opinion, but not your reputation. You have the desire and zeal for the search, but you cannot control the amount of goods you have or your success. Worrying and getting bitter about things beyond our control is simply deciding to waste time. According to Epictetus, we should cultivate values we have the power to change, and let go of what is beyond our control, letting fate take care of it. Stoic principles are incredibly useful for everyday life. They help us navigate bad times with resilience and focus on applying what we've learned to move forward. If you enjoyed this video, share your thoughts with us. Write Armored Wisdom in the comments if you're new to the channel, and please subscribe. See you soon.